let's see what we get. Okay, let's see what this one is. It says The Three Wishes. Once upon a time, and be sure 'twas a long time ago, there lived a poor woodman in a great forest, and every day of his life he went out to fell timber. So one day he started out, and the good wife filled his wallet and slung his bottle on his back, that he might have meat and drink in the forest. He had marketed out a huge old oak, which, thought he, would furnish many and many a good plank. And when he was come to it, he took his axe in his hand and swung it round his head, as though he were minded to fell the tree at one stroke. But he hadn't given one blow, when what should he hear but the pit fullest entering? And there stood before him a fairy, who prayed and beseeched him to spare the tree. He was dazed, as you may fancy, with wonderment and affright, and he couldn't open his mouth to utter a word. But he found his tongue at last, and said he, Well, I'll and do as thou wishest. You've done better for yourself than you know, answered the fairy, and to show I'm not ungrateful, I'll grant you your next 3 wishes, be they what they may. And therewith the fairy was no more to be seen, and the woodman slung his wallet over his shoulder and his bottle at his side, and off he started home. But the way was long, and the poor man was regularly dazed with the wonderful thing that had befallen him, and when he got home, there was nothing in his noddle but the wish to sit down and rest. Maybe, too, 'twas a trick of the fairies. Who can tell? Anyhow, down he sat by the blazing fire, and as he sat he waxed hungry, though it was a long way off supper time yet. Hasn't thou naught for supper, dame? He said to his wife. Nay, not for a couple hours yet, she said. Ah, groaned the woodsman, I wish I'd a good link of black pudding, sausage, here before me. This is weird. No sooner had he said the word, when clatter, clatter, rustle, rustle, what should come down the chimney but a link of the finest black pudding and the heart of man could wish for. If the woodman stared, the good wife stared 3 times as much. What's all this? Says she. Then all the morning's work came back to the woodman, and he told his tale right out from beginning to end, and as he told it, the good wife glowered and glowered, and when he had made an end of it, she burst out, Thou beest but a fool, Jan, thou beest but a fool, and I wish the pudding were at thy nose, I do indeed. And before you could say Jack Robinson, there the goodman sat, and his nose was the longer for a noble link of black pudding. He gave a pull, but it stuck, and she gave a pull, but it stuck, and they both pulled till they had nigh pulled the nose off, but it was stuck and stuck. What's to do now? Said he. 'Tisn't so very unsightly, she said, looking hard at him. Then the woodman saw that if he wished, he must need wish in a hurry, and wish he did, that the black pudding might come off his nose. Well, there it lay in a dish on the table, and if the goodman and good wife didn't ride in a golden coach or dress in silk and satin, why, they had at least as fine a black pudding for their supper as the heart of any man could desire. And that's it. That's that story. I think the moral of this tale is be careful what you wish for, I suppose. That's what I imagine. I think that's Fordyce's grave when I suppose I must have dropped asleep and only woke up by hearing a cat's meow. Meow, said old Tom in answer. Yes, just like that. So I looked over the edge of the grave, and what do you think I saw? Now, how can I tell? Said the sexton's wife. Why, 9 black cats, all like our friend Tom here, all with a white spot on their chestises. And what do you think they were carrying? Why, a small coffin covered with a black velvet pall, and on the pall was a small coronet all of gold. And at every third step they took, they cried all together, meow, meow, said old Tom again. Yes, just like that, said the sexton. And as they came nearer and nearer to me, I could see them more distinctly, because their eyes shone out with sort of green light. Well, they all came toward me, and 8 of them carrying the coffin, and the biggest cat of all walking in front for all the world like. But look at our Tom, how he's looking at me. You think he knew all I was saying? Go on, said his wife. Never mind old Tom. Well, as I was saying, they came toward me slowly and solemnly, and at every third step crying all together, meow, meow, said old Tom again. Yes, just like that. Till they came and stood right opposite Mr. Fordyce's grave where I was, when they all stood still and looked straight at me. I did feel queer what I did, but look at old Tom, he's looking at me, just like they did. Go on, said his wife. Never mind old Tom. Where was I? Oh, they all stood still looking at me when the one that wasn't carrying the coffin came forward and staring straight at me, said to me, yes, I tell you, said to me with a squeaky voice, tell Tom Tildrum that Tim Tildrum's dead. And that's why I asked if you knew who Tom Tildrum was. For how can I tell Tom Tildrum Tim Tildrum's dead if I don't know who Tom Tildrum is? Look at old Tom, screamed his wife. And well, he might look, for Tom was swelling and Tom was staring, and at last Tom shrieked out, What? Old Tim's dead? Then I'm the king of the cats, and rushed up the chimney